Okay, it's Sunday morning, um, 11 o'clock. That means there's less than 12 hours left, and I have a lot to do. I did work, I've already worked a bit this morning. I worked a bit last night, and I got the patient list started. I have a lot more to do, probably. It's not done. What I really need to do is I need to do something for how you're reimbursed for caring for the patients, and that I think is going to be involved. I'm trying to think of an elegant, simple way to do it, and I've only got one that's like the greatest. I mean, like ultimately it needs to be something like, I mean, normally like you don't get paid immediately when a patient gets discharged. You get paid like there's a delay, and I don't know if I want to model that or not, but I kind of think I want to have some way to review what happened, as opposed to just money comes in for no reason, which means like probably a list of here are the discharged patients, which is just something I have to track and then show you that, and then show you like here's how much you got from them. But really I have to implement all of the like expenditures and then the reimbursement, and showing that and actually counting it towards your money, as well as how much it costs to build a building. I haven't done that yet. Build a room. Patients can't die yet still. I need to work on that. I was working on that kind of hand in hand with some of this patient list stuff, because I need to expose some of the like internal stuff where I've got a bunch of enums and things where I need to turn those into readable strings for what is the patient's diagnosis. And okay, well, it's unknown, so I just show question marks now, and yeah. Yeah, so I need to do, those things are probably the most urgent. I hadn't thought about tooltips. I'll probably do tooltips at the same time, because I need a lot of this display text for the patient list, and once I have that, then hopefully it should be fairly straightforward to get that into tooltips for like moving around the world. Yeah, and I still don't have, there's no real inpatient unit that you can transfer people to. So I probably need to do that. That should be fairly easy. Like it'll probably be like there's a couple of, I probably need like an ICU and an inpatient unit. And like if you're in the emergency department and your acuity is above a certain number, then you go to the inpatient. And in any case, if you are above a certain number, you can go to the ICU. If there's a bed available. And then probably like I need to adjust numbers so you get better care in the ICU than you do elsewhere. I'm thinking about implementing like patients actually coding, and you have to bring a crash cart. I don't know if I want to do that. That might be a bunch of time. It shouldn't be that bad, but I say that about everything, and no one thing is that bad. It's always one more thing. And stopping to estimate is going to take, an hour or two to get, like, if I wanted to schedule out, here are all the things that need to get done. If I stop to schedule it out, I will confirm that this is impossible. So I don't want to stop to schedule it out, because then I might just give up or something. And I'm just going to keep working. So yeah, it's Sunday morning, and I got a lot of work to do. I'll check in again sometime today, probably. Probably I might. Sometimes Sunday gets really crazy, and I don't have time to do anything else. But I just grabbed breakfast and was like, I'm gonna record something while I'm thinking about it. Maybe when I grab dinner, but that might be after 7, after the thing's over. So yeah, next up, finish patient list, death, and money. And then it's a lot of little stuff and content and things that are going to add up. So, yeah. Okay, it's 2 o'clock on Sunday. And I just spent 20 minutes naming all the medications after Pokemon. That was not a good use of time, but also it was the best use of time. So yeah, what's going on? I have billing in the game now. It's mostly there. I just realized I lost a chunk of recording. I realized while I was recording how I can solve one of the last problems, which is how do I show you like patients that have left. And I was gonna like, oh, you can have multiple tabs and you can switch through, and that's a pain in the butt. No, let's not do that. It's just gonna be, you just get them at the bottom of the list of like, here's the recent discharges. That's fine. Whatever. You can drill into the charts and it's whatever. Yeah, so I'm running out of time. 2 o'clock on Sunday. It's like 5 hours till pencil's down. I'm working on killing patients right now. Working on it. I have to decide, do I work on tutorial or tooltips or additional content like the other departments? Probably the additional departments, because otherwise this is a really bad ED simulator and it's not great. I did realize that like without having some of the other, without having all of the ORs and some of that stuff, if I don't get to that, that could be a bit of a problem, because I'm kind of, there's just a blank hole where it's like, patients can't go to surgery, and that's what they need based on what I planned on. So I might need to figure that out. But I should probably make these other units first. ORs would be a harder thing to do, because that means you need to like schedule surgeries or something. Like, I probably have to build a schedule. It's not that hard, it's just, it's more time. So probably get a little bit of additional content just so it's there, and then start working on the tutorial once I have something to unlock. I mean, like, maybe I should be making the tutorial as I do the unlock stuff, but it needs to be there. Audio is, I don't know if I'm gonna get to audio. I have a plan, but it's still, it's time. Everything's time. There's a lot of stuff I want to do, but 2 o'clock on Sunday. Check in later. Pencils down. Compo is over, and I'm done. I'm done. That is, I should figure out how many Ludum Dares that makes. That's probably like 10 or something. Something like that. But it's another one in the can. Do I look tired? Because I'm tired. I'm tired. Yeah, that was cutting it real close. That was a lot of work right at the end, and I didn't get everything done. I made some art for like a trauma center that I didn't get in the game, but I got the other stuff. There were a couple things that were like, if these aren't in here, I don't know how this is gonna work as a game. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Nobody probably would notice except for me. But like, you'd look at patients that are like just kind of sitting there slowly dying, just dying, no idea why, and it's because you didn't have the facilities to treat the patients. It's probably a whole story. When we last talked, it was sometime in the afternoon, and yeah, things were shaky, but I got more done than I thought it would. Actually, it seems to work a lot better than I was expecting. I need to do some playtesting, and I found a crash like right after submitting it, which is great. You just don't remove buildings outside of the buildable area. It'll just crash. I don't know why. So I figured that out. I will figure that out. But yeah, day 0 patch, of course. But and also I figured out the UI scaling is totally broken in a way that like I should have caught at the beginning, and since I didn't, it's gonna look, it will be unplayable if you have a lower resolution or a lower DPI display than I have. Like, I built it for this high-res Surface Pro, and yeah, I didn't realize the scaling wasn't actually being applied. It didn't detect the scaling because I never did that. So like if you are on a lower resolution, you can't, you can't read a lot of the text. It's totally broken. But let's see. But I think I got everything in. I got everything in I wanted to, except for, or all of the big things that I wanted in, except for, I really did sort of want like some kind of fake decision points to kind of highlight, awful decisions that like hospital administrators have to make on a regular basis. And that was the thing that was just not quite. It was either that or the trauma center, which, like the trauma center probably affects the kind of gameplay more. Like it's something that's more applicable, but also something that I don't know that people are going to notice if it isn't there, but I notice. But like, I kind of hope, like I have all the framework in place and it's just a matter of 20 minutes of writing and figuring out some basic code to say like, okay, here's a question, write the prompt, and then if you make this choice, this happens, you make this choice, this happens. And like, even if it's a real basic, you make this choice and you get $10,000 for, whatever. It's that sort of stuff. That's just time that I ran out of. But I think as a whole, like the actual simulation aspects are pretty well realized. There's definitely a few things that a little shaky. Like I said, the trauma center is kind of the odd one out, where if you have a patient that comes in with some sort of trauma, there's like two things that kind of bug me about it that I wish I could get back to. But the main one is that like you can't do much for the patients. Like the nurses are like providing like a comfort measures, and then doctors are like trying to treat them, but like it's a really slow process where it would make a lot more sense if there was like a trauma bay, which is what I have the art for. Now you can't see my screen, but I made the art for their trauma bay, which is basically just a reskin of the OR, which was one of the last things I put in. So I reskinned it, and yeah, just didn't have time to do the code because it was going to be something special. Like I couldn't quite just copy and paste some of the stuff I'd done elsewhere. It's not exactly a bed, but it's not exactly an OR, but it bugs me. Probably doesn't bug anybody else. Nobody will notice unless you're watching this. Great. So yeah, but as far as the simulation, like I haven't played a full game of it yet, so that's always worrying, is like what kind of bugs am I going to run into. I know there's a couple weird little things that I need to investigate, and I'll probably ignore. I was seeing some of the sims kind of just getting stuck in one place, and it didn't seem to break the game, so I'm probably not going to investigate it, but I'm going to play through a more complete game and see if I can run into any other crashes. But what else? What else is there to say? Started. I have a lot more to do, probably. It's not done. What I really need to do is I need to do something for how you're reimbursed for caring for the patients, and that I think is going to be involved. I'm trying to think of an elegant, simple way to do it, and I've only got one that's like the greatest. I mean, like ultimately it needs to be something like, I mean, normally like you don't get paid immediately when a patient gets discharged. You get paid like there's a delay, and I don't know if I want to model that or not, but I kind of think I want to have some way to review what happened, as opposed to just money comes in for no reason, which means like probably a list of here are the... Okay, it's Sunday morning, 11 o'clock. That means there's less than 12 hours left, and I have a lot to do. I've already worked a bit this morning. I worked a bit last night, and I got the patient list, as well as how much it costs to build a building. Haven't done that yet. Build a room. Patients can't die yet still. I need to work on that. I was working on that kind of hand in hand with some of this patient list stuff because I need to expose some of the like internal stuff where I've got a bunch of enums and things where I need to turn those into readable strings for what discharged patients. Which is just something I have to track and then show you that and then show you like here's how much you got from them. But really I have to implement all of the like expenditures and then the reimbursement and showing that and actually counting it towards your money